Well, hello all you cool cats and kittens. Update on Buddy's backyard garden. This is that back corner of my property I said was going to be expanding, and I'm starting to throw a bunch more stuff in here. The squash is coming up nicely. I planted some peppers and eggplant in the back there because we had a lot of room. I just put a bunch of worm castings in here. Kind of alternating. I got a couple peppers, I got an eggplant. So this is the stuff that's planted in the ground. Now over here I started a new pile. Okay, this was basically a bunch of clay and lawn clippings, and I threw a bunch of compost in the middle of it, and I planted directly into that over top of a blue tarp. Also, I've got a sweet potato plant right there. I think keeping this from drying out is going to be the trick, but other than that, it should be okay. There's a lot of material down there. So I got 2 squash plants, one on either side, a pepper plant on top, and a sweet potato on the side here. It'll either work or it won't. You know, we'll find out as time goes on. I've had a lot of failures this year with the new property, but I'm just going to keep planting. And the more I plant, the more opportunities I have for success. Like this is a good example. This is just an experiment. This is a box that was full of composted lawn clippings and leaves and a few other things. Some of that clay dirt that I've got thrown in there, and everything seems to be taking off pretty good. It's a kukuza or a gagoots squash there. There's a potato plant growing up right next to it. This was in my compost container. I just threw it in there. This is another potato plant that was thrown in there. I'm sure there's a book that says you're not supposed to plant those things together and that you're not supposed to plant them this way, but I'm just experimenting this year. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We'll see. I think we're going to have great success with this squash though, because it's really doing well. At some point I have to clear all this out. I'm probably going to put down a tarp over here and then just start piling lawn clippings and cardboard and lawn clippings on it to kill all this off. It's a great big mess, and eventually, hopefully by next year, this whole side. Let's take a walk up to the front. I'll show you what's going on over there. I'm just going to leave these here because I'm probably going to tuck my last eggplant and peppers in somewhere. I had this little area right next to the shed here. It's a big mess, but there's already some herbs growing in here. There's sage. I planted lemon balm in there, and I've got some dill growing. These plants back here are Bok Choy. And I stuck them in the ground over here. The dogs keep running over them, which is one of the reasons they're not growing. And it only gets dappled sunlight, but they're kind of hanging on there. I just tucked it in there to see what's going on. I'll be in there later. We've got window boxes planted with some flowers. Got a pretty plant there. My grapes. If somebody could comment below if I'm supposed to trim muscadine grapes back, or if you guys have any growing tips on muscadine grapes, that'd be great. I've never grown them before. There's a lot of clusters on here, all kinds. It looks like they're being okay, but I don't know if they'll all fill out or if some of them will grow and some of them won't. But we'll find that out. Again, this is all a big experiment this year. Now this bed is a bit of a disappointment. I think it's just way too much compost and it's way too rich or whatever. Things are growing, but these tomato plants should be going up the fence by now, but they're just stunted right here. There's tomatoes on some of them, so we'll get some kind of harvest, but this tomato is like the first one I showed you. Things just aren't growing in here. The leaves are kind of curled. So I'm putting some worm compost in here, and worms. I'm trying to get it back to like more of a normal environment. However, my container plants are doing great. Here's some more bok choy that I just grew in here. And it was grown, this was actually planted after the other, and it's doing much, much better. You know, here's another squash. I'm just going to try to grow it in that pot there and see if that doesn't work. Here's another bok choy. And I stuck in this container with my lemon trees. I didn't think they'd grow that fast. This one's probably going to get eaten tonight. You know, it's nice, young and tender, so I'll just chop it up. My blueberry plants are doing well. They're carrying on. I almost killed my cherry tomato plants off. They drooped. They got too dry and they drooped. I got to put these in the ground somewhere. Got to find a place for them. Here's that bed that I totally redug because nothing was growing in it. Everything seems to be doing better now. This is mostly peppers, beans, and what do you call it? The purple things. Eggplant. These little boxes are still stunted. I mean, you can tell that this is basil, but this was planted a long time ago. This should be well up. We got some oregano here. Some more basil here. Something is eating the tops off of my broccoli. You can see the broccoli starting to form there. I don't think these are going to do well. This broccoli already bolted. This broccoli got eaten down to almost nothing, as did this. But I got a little broccoli head right there. That's probably going to get thrown in a salad. And then we're going to quit on this, and probably my cherry tomatoes are going to come over here. This is another beefsteak tomato that I just chucked back in here for whatever reason. I just decided to stick it in there, so I did. And it's doing fantastic. There's no grapes on it yet, but it's much larger. Not grapes, tomatoes on them. But they're much larger than the ones I just showed you over there. It's doing great. These tomato plants are doing great. My cabbages are looking like they're starting to head up. I think I got whatever was eating them under control. My cauliflower I just gave up on. Pulled it. Just dropping it there. And this bed here that has the sunflowers in the middle. My green bean plants back here are doing great. I've got flowers all over them. We're going to have a bunch of green beans on these soon. But again, you walk around front and it's a whole different story. They're better than they were, but they're still pretty poor. So I'm going to put some more fertilizer on there and see if that doesn't help. And I got more beans in a pot here that are doing well, along with some Swiss chard that's growing in a pot. And my herbs. Got oregano, cilantro, and thyme. So that's the tour for today, kids. It's a big old marigold over there. I hope you guys are doing well. And I'm giving her a shot of my grapes. So if you could, please like and leave a comment. It really helps out because I'm not sure who's seeing and who's not. I don't get a lot of comments. So help a brother out. I'll talk to you later. Bye.